So welcome to Song Drumming Chronicles. My name is Miguel, and today we're going to talk about knowing the arrangement. Okay, so knowing the arrangement for a drummer to me is the second most important job that you have as a drummer. Number one most important job is to be able to keep a good, steady, and consistent beat. But your number two job is to know the arrangement. And so when I say arrangement, what I mean is the sort of the structure of the song, not necessarily each measure of music, although you certainly got to know this, but the arrangement is sort of the structure of the song, the verse, the choruses, the bridges, the intros, all this stuff, and in what order they come in and how you need to play them, okay? So that's the arrangement. The reason the arrangement is important for you as a drummer is that if you think of the band as a bus and making the song come alive is the destination of the bus, you are driving the bus. The bass player, the guitar player, the singer, they are not driving the bus, you are driving the bus. And how well the song comes across has a lot to do with how well you are able to make that song come alive. It's more important that you know the arrangement than anybody else in the band, including the person who wrote the song. Because unless the person who wrote the song in the band is the drummer, they're not driving the bus, you are. Okay, so that's why it's important. Now, so I want to go over really briefly a particular charting style that I use when I'm learning songs with the bands that I play in here in town. This is similar to the method that Mark Schulman uses. Mark Schulman is one of my teachers. He wrote an excellent article in Modern Drummer about charting out in this fashion. Definitely check that out. This charting style also assumes, you can see it's got a little bit of standard music notation. If you cannot read standard music notation, check out James Morton's book. I think it's called You Can Teach Yourself Drums. It's on Mel Bay, and he's got this great little grid system that you can use if you can't if you can't read standard music notation. Okay, so here's how to do it. Here is how to master an arrangement. Oh, and I forgot, the number one most important thing. The reason why this is important is knowing the arrangement allows you to drive the bus because it allows you to play with authority. The greatest drummers in the world, and I'll just pick two, Buddy Rich in the big band jazz genre and Ringo Starr in the rock pop genre. They are excellent drummers, and part of the reason they're excellent drummers is they play with absolute authority. Now, Buddy looks a lot more intense than Ringo does, but it doesn't mean that Ringo's not playing with authority. And the reason they play with authority is because they really know the arrangement. They know it cold. They know it better than anybody else on the bandstand, and they're two great examples of a drummer absolutely driving the bus. Okay, so how to do it? The first thing is to map the song out at a very, very high level. And we're not talking about measure by measure here. We're talking about high level. So this here is a song called Moment of Wonder. It's written by Dennis Winslow. Dennis is the primary songwriter in one of the bands I'm in called Shoebox Letters. We're basically an alternative country band, okay? And so what I got here is the title. I sort of sketched out, what kind of beat it is, roughly. It's a medium rock tune, so it's not too fast, not too slow, and an approximate BPM 117, just so we have a reference in case we want to play with a click. And then what I have here is sort of the sketched out terms that I use when we refer to parts of a song. So here's the intro. There's 8 bars of an intro. Next is the verse. Next after that is the pre-chorus, different than the verse, different than the chorus, and then a chorus, and then the process starts up all over again. Intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, there's a solo, you do the chorus twice, and you're done. Okay? So that's what I mean by mapping out the arrangement at a very, very high level. You note that I didn't go into what you play in every measure. I've sketched out a couple of ideas here, and I'll talk about those in a second. But this is the big thing you got to know, is what is the structure of the tune. Then the next thing is to figure out, okay, well, what do I play in the intro? What do I play in the verse and the pre-chorus and the chorus? I'll talk a little bit about that for this particular song. But the first bit of information you got to have is you have to have memorized or written out, and you can refer to it, the skeletal structure of the song. Again, intro, verse, chorus, stuff like that. Now, the additional information I have on top of that is a couple of bits of information on exactly what kind of groove I'm going to play. And this song is interesting because I have a groove in the intro that I don't use unless the intro music comes up later in the tune. And the intro is kind of a misleading term. Whatever music is in the intro, whenever it happens in the tune, I call it the intro again. So the intro here happens at the beginning, and it happens in the middle of the tune. Okay, what I have here are two different beats. I have the A beat and the B beat, the letter A, the letter B beat. And the A beat's got this weird funky beat that I play only in the intro, so I've got that charted out. This helps me remember what to play when I come back to this chart 6 months, say we recorded it 4 months ago, it's released on the CD, we just started putting it into the live show. I usually, me with my not so great memory, I'll forget the tune. So this helps me remember exactly what I need to do and can remind me of everything I need to know. So we've got this A beat, and then we've got the B beat, which is a more standard kind of rock beat, okay? And so as we go through, in the intro I do A, and in the verse I do B, and then the only notes I have to myself, the only difference between the pre-chorus and the verse is that the hi-hat goes from a tight hi-hat to what I call a chunky hi-hat, which is, played more with the shoulder of the stick. And then we go to the chorus, the hi-hat goes to sloshy, which is the cymbals very sibilant, very loose together, and I got a different bass drum pattern that I charted out here. I didn't chart out the hi-hat pattern, I just said hi-hat, sloshy, you know what to do, and here's the new bass drum pattern. And then we go back to the intro, which is pattern A again, the verse, pattern B again, and so on, and it repeats, okay? And that's basically all the information I need as a musician to chart out a tune and to know what to play for a song, okay? So again, all of this is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, again, using the analogy of a bus, if the band's a bus and your destination is to make the song come alive, you are driving the bus. And if you're going to really make that happen, you have to play with authority. Again, think of your favorite drummers, whether it's Dave Grohl or Questlove or Ringo Starr or Buddy Rich, all of these guys play with absolute, just massive authority. Not being jerks or like in your face or anything, but just like massive authority. This is the beat, and this is what's going to happen. And if you do that, you can make the song come alive. Okay, and you can check out an audio file of the final recorded version of this tune called Moment of Wonder, and an image of the actual chart that I have here on my website, which is www.joyousracket.com, and just look for the tab that talks about the arrangement process. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning into Song Drumming Chronicles. My name is Miguel, and remember, we don't work drums, we play drums, so have fun when you drum. Ciao.